how libraries have been important in your career.
I have to say that some of the times when I've got a big idea has come to me. It came to me while I was researching somewhere rather dank and smelly. I like the special collections. I like going to parts of libraries that are less frequented. So I think that sometimes even a whole string of ideas that I ended up working on for a long time came out of working in a library. When I was first a writer, first a poet in graduate school in Baltimore, I spent almost all my time in the library because it was air conditioned. This is a theme in my life. When I was a kid, that was one of the reasons we went to the library all summer long, was because it was the few places that were air conditioned in the very hot and humid Red River Valley in North Dakota where I grew up. So I think I spent a lot of time for that reason, but of course was drawn in and like to go to a new spot, so therefore I wasn't known to be haunting the library. I was sort of half living there when I was a graduate student. So my reading taste became eclectic just because I wanted to relocate and not be found sacked out in the library. But a play that I just wrote, and I had workshop my first play. That all came from a bit of research at the Newberry Library in Chicago. It's a beautiful place. Also refreshingly cool. So I think that's probably the through line. It's been an influence both environmentally and intellectually.
Fantastic. Do you visit libraries? You read at libraries?
I do. I read more at libraries than I get to research these days, mostly because I have kids and I can't go to the library without them. They want to go to the library twice a week. Luckily, I live on a bike path where we can get to both our central library in Hennepin County, Minneapolis, and to our local library, Walker. And we just go both directions, and we try to go a couple of times a week, and I make them check out books for me. It's true, because I always forget my card or let it expire.
Well, do you have a personal story or recollection about a library being important in an era of your life?
When I was a little kid, I had access to 3 libraries, which I think is really rich, given that I grew up in a town of 10,000 people. There was a small community college, or what we call community college now, a technical college, in my hometown in Wahpeton. And after our public library, which was a gorgeous, public works building that my dad helped to restore and keep in our small hometown. After I'd sort of exhausted that library, I was able to go to the college library, which was a really big deal. And I was grateful to that. The librarian's name was Miss Johnson, and it was nice of her to allow us to do that because I think it made me feel like I had entry into a whole new level and range of books. And I also had a library at my small Catholic school, and a lot of schools don't have the resources to have really full libraries like that anymore. They have the media and they have their book cards and so forth, but this was a very full, very old-fashioned, beautiful library, and I read everything. I wanted to get my name on every card in the library. We used to have the cards to sign out, and people still tell me in my hometown that they pick up books at the used bookstore that my name was on the card.
That's fantastic.
Sometimes 3 of my siblings or 4 would be on the same card, so there was that. So I think I had a real richness of access to books. Strangely, even though I have a family of writers, my sister Lise and then of course my sister Louise, we're all writers, we didn't have many books in our house. They were all library books. We didn't have a lot of money, and there inevitably would have been fights over books. So until we all started college and had to purchase books, we had very few books in the house, and I think all our literariness comes from having access to libraries.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.